everybody, welcome back. Right now it is blustery and cold outside, and all I can think about is the wonderful summer and what I'm going to be booking for this coming year. I was thinking I would invite you guys all in to look at what I do as far as my research for the solo camping for next year. To me, this is all part of the fun of solo camping, is the research, and I decided to make a dedicated office space, and I'm going to show you all the things that I enjoy doing on my research. I'm going to start with showing you my map. It's important to me to have a map, and I found this one. This was a recommendation from my mom, actually, out of a magazine called The Day Tripper. I'll show you that in here. They're in a lot of different grocery stores in and around Ontario, but it's a day trip called a Day Tripper. There's 2 or 3 sections to it, but in one of the sections is a good size map. Now this only covers most of southern Ontario, as far up as the other side of Toronto, and that's pretty much as far as I'm going to be going right now in this part of my life. So this is a perfect map for me just to set down on my table, and I can refer to it whenever I'm doing other research on Google and not really sure my routes and stuff. So that's one of the ones, one of the pieces that I like to use. And I also like to use Google and on my tablet or on my phone and do Google Maps and see the distance of my destinations and the back roads that I might want to wander along rather than taking the big highways. I prefer the back roads, a little bit more scenic, take my time, going through some smaller towns that I might want to stop. And my next item that I went out and purchased was a good size calendar. I just went to the dollar store and got a good size calendar, and it lets me, has a good amount of square, good amount of space, so that I can mark in all my vacation days. I'm still working, I'm not retired yet, so I have to look at the weekends that I have off, the days that I have off, and that's pretty much where I begin. And then I have my tablet. So it's just a small tablet, and I do a lot of my research on here rather than a big computer. Again, it suits me. And I have my notes, my notebooks. I have a lot of scribbling, a lot of papers, kind of random papers when I come up with some ideas. I have one little notebook that I stick next to my bedside because I tend to think about stuff when I'm trying to fall asleep, and this is a good thing to have right there. And I do a lot of my scribbling, a lot of dates, a lot of ideas. And then I also have another notebook that I just leave here in my office. In here I have the dates of my available vacation time and the days that I want to take off. I have separated it into solo and into trailer. I also have a list of all the hipcamps that I have researched over the past and what would work for me for this summer. I have it written down as the name, the areas, the amount that they're charging per night, and the distance from home. So if I only have 1 night, 2 days, 1 night available, I'm obviously going to find something that's going to be a little bit closer to home. But I'm going to try and get at least 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights. And that will allow me comfortably about maybe 3.5 hour drive. It's going to take a lot longer than that because I'm going to be stopping along the way. But for right now, that's what I'm feeling comfortable with. once I have retired and have a little bit more time on my hands, I'm going to be doing a little bit further out, probably a little bit further north, just to hit all those northern sweet spots that we don't necessarily have down here. Also in my notebook, once I have decided on a destination, I'm going to write it down, and along with the dates and the timing and the cost and everything, I'm also going to put down what my treasure and my passion is going to be for that particular trip and what I'm hoping to get out of it, along with any ideas of any little stops along the way. I am a big fan of bakeries. So my first hip camp that I've decided on, I have found a bakery and deli along the way, and I'm excited to explore that, as well as getting to my destination, but it's also about the journey along the way. Also, along with a list of hip camps, I've also have a list of conservation areas and provincial parks that I might be interested in. And also little notes that I'm taking about the do's and the don'ts that I'm coming across for what I am looking for when I'm planning. For instance, I have just realized that when I'm looking at hip camp, I have to pay particular attention to the details. And one of them was whether or not it was a walk-in site. Because I'm car camping, I have to be able to drive into my site, and I wasn't paying attention to that in the beginning of my planning. So somewhere along the way, when I had delved into details a little further, I noticed a little area that had said walking short distance, and then I realized that these hip camps were mainly meant for tent camping and not necessarily allowing a vehicle to be right on site. I've also come to realize that if I'm, say, looking at Lake Erie, I don't think I'm going to be wanting anything towards the end of the month of June, because they are known for mayflies. And I've come to realize too that if I'm looking at, say, starting out a trip on a Friday after work, I've tried this and I just don't have the energy of working an 8-hour shift, packing everything up, and then heading out. I'm going to try and stick to starting my adventures on a Saturday morning and allowing myself time to get there. And if I have to book an extra vacation day, then I will do that. So these are some of the items that I'm going to be paying close attention for my solo trip. But in the meantime, everybody else has their own preferences, but it's good when you're thinking about your trips to come across these little things and just kind of jot them down in your notebook and kind of keep them there so that you can refer to them. I also leave my Wonder Bing, my book of wonder and travel, and I do still refer to this quite often because it is a very enjoyable book and it really does help me quite a bit. And then I have a couple of journals that I bring along when I'm journaling, and I just kind of keep them off to the side, and once in a while I just take a quick look and read and go back over what my thoughts were from last summer, and gives me more inspiration. And then I also go through, I keep a lot of my provincial park maps for the parks that I've been in the past, and I usually do a little bit of a walkthrough and mark sites down that I like, sites that might have appeal to me. And I also, because I'm now solo camping, I also have to keep in mind a site that I would be looking for solo is going to be very different from a site that I would be looking for with my partner and our trailer. Solo gives you more of an advantage of being more waterfront because you don't necessarily need electricity, and they tend to put more of the tent sites along the water. So solo camping can give you that advantage. And there might be some private campgrounds that might be appealing as well. I've yet to try it solo camping, but this is a good guide. The Camping in Ontario, this comes out every year. I usually find it at an RV sales place, or if you're someone that goes to any of the travel shows, this is usually available as you walk in. There's usually a desk there, and this is a good guide for the private ones, because it really breaks down what type of camping you're looking for and what each private campground has to offer. And then the Day Tripper, as I said before, not only has the map in it, but it also has a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, a lot of markets. It's a good handy guide to have on your research area. And it's seasonal, so it does come out at least twice a year. It might even be more than that, but at least the summer and the winter editions. And of course, Google is always a bounty of information. I put the HipCamp app on my phone, and that's where I do a lot of my research. With HipCamp, I really not only look at the details and know the distance and the cost and where I want to go, that kind of thing, but I also really rely on reviews that everybody is given. And a lot of these places will get a pretty good rating. So far, the two hip camps that I've been to both had a very high rating, and I've been very satisfied with both. So I'm hoping that this summer I'm going to be doing 3 hip camps and 1 provincial park. Now, I also wanted to go through and show you what I had asked for Christmas that is going to be added to my list of items to take along with me. So my first item is my jackery. So this is a small version of the large jackeries that I've seen. So this will be nice and handy, good for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. Has 2 or 3 ports there. I'll be able to plug in whatever I need to plug in and not really necessarily work. Right now I'm just using a very small power bank. So this will be a bit of a step up for me. My second thing that I asked for, and I can't really show it to you, but let's put it up there. I had asked for a selfie stick. So I have a tripod that I used last summer, but this will be a little bit easier to do more self images, that kind of thing, without me having to look up into the camera. So I'm excited about that. My third items that I asked for are these microfiber quick dry towels. They're medium size, so it should be nice just to quickly dry off if I decide to go for a quick swim, that kind of thing. Yeah, and it comes in a little carrying case. So I'll be able to just fold it up and stick it in there. So everything is compact. I'm looking for everything that's small and that can fit into my car and into the spaces of my car. The other item I had asked for are this set of cast iron or aluminum tea mugs, coffee mugs. There's a set of 4 different colors. So along with these items that I have on the table there, I've also asked for gift certificates to provincial parks. So this will cut down on some of the expense. They're very easy to get a hold of. You can just go on the provincial parks website and go into gift cards, and you can order them or have somebody order them for you and just transfer it over, and you can leave it sitting there, and when you're ready to book your site and check out, you can just get your reference number and your PIN number, and there you go. You just pay for your site. And another resource that I enjoy using is YouTube. YouTube is a very good resource because you're able to watch others and what they're going through, and it might help on your journey of solo camping. You can look for destinations, you can look for other solo female campers, you can look for people that are tenting, you can look for people that are going in their cars like myself. A lot of different ideas on there, and a lot of different angles for what you want to look for your journey. I'm hoping this will help you on your journey for your next solo camping and give you a little bit of courage to do some research and see if this is something that you might want to try. Even maybe just, for one night. It really gives you the sense of freedom and calm, and it just makes you feel good. Makes me feel good. Stay warm, everybody, and we'll see you in the spring.